Julius roaring to the basket, came up in Walton's face. And Julius is unbelievable in a wide-open situation. I have never seen anybody be able to do the things that he could do. And he plays a game that I don't think anybody has ever played before.
39 years ago, Dr. J put the great Bill Walton on his list of defenders victimized by one of your gliding dunks. And as you can see, the doctor, as Brent Musburger used to say, is with us here on NBA TV. Great to have you with us.
Pleasure.
First question, is that the play? Is it the swooping reverse against Mark Landsberger in the 80 finals that you hear about most from people?
The Landsberger play. Going in because Kareem was there at the end of the play, and he elected not to jump. He just went over there and posted up and put his arms up, and I said, okay. Finally to get this one back to the basket.
And have you ever talked to Landsberger about it?
No.
He probably doesn't want to discuss.
But back to the Walton thing, I think it was an offensive foul because I did grab his arm. I realized that later. But that's how we played back in the day. You get away with a little something.
You know, Doc, you say that, and you look at the game today where analytics come in and teams are living and dying by the three-point shot. What do you think of that philosophy, taking big guys really out the game today?
Well, yeah, we don't really get to see the centers perform because they're definitely not the most valuable piece to the chessboard. You know, the guards clearly dominate the league. And we were both coached by Billy Cunningham, so he used to always say bad shot when you were shooting an wide open 15-footer if you were the wrong guy. So this is more equal opportunity. Everybody gets to handle the ball. Everybody gets to feel the ball. It looks a little bit like a video game sometimes or whatever, but it's great for the fans. I mean, the fans are very, very excited about seeing today's game. And the diehard fans, you know, like the way that it was back in the day because possession of the ball meant a lot more. You know, I mean, you get 2 turnovers in a quarter, you sit on the bench. You're just going to have to come or sit on the side and think about it for a while, right? And now you get a couple of turnovers. It's like, you know, my bad.
Doc, you were the original ambassador of the NBA, the original face of the NBA. And from you, I felt like it became Magic Bird, Michael, and then all the way down the line. Now you look in the league, you see Steph Curry, and you see LeBron James. And I'm just curious, what's your thoughts of them as players, but also as ambassadors for the game of basketball?
Okay, that's a fair question. There were guys before me, though. I have to give, you know, props to Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, and the guys of that era who truly were the faces of the game. And then in New York with Clyde Frazier and Earl Monroe, you know, we all love them. But looking at today's ambassadors and looking at the commercials that they make, you know, you get to see them and see a different part of their personality when they're doing commercials. The thing you probably don't see is what they do philanthropically. And LeBron and Steph are deeply involved philanthropically, not just in the USA, but globally with LeBron's situation. So I think the league's in good shape in that regard. You always need to have an ambassador, and now we have plenty of ambassadors.
Doc, you know, I've always been impressed. You know, I've always been a huge fan. I'm a neighbor of Doc. I'm proud to say that. So I'm a neighbor.
We're holding down the ATL now.
But you're an MVP in the ABA, MVP in the NBA. You saw the three-point line in the ABA. Then when you came to the league, no three-point line. What's your thoughts on how guys are shooting the three-point line, and what's your favorite player right now to watch?
Well, you know, I'm a longtime Tim Duncan fan. So until he leaves, I can't put anybody in his spot. You know,
he's still technically active. So.
Yeah, he's still technically and functionally active. So when he leaves, I mean, I think KD might move into that spot. Okay. You know, I mean, they're a team that I pull for, even though I'm by nature and by experience an Eastern Conference guy. I cheer for the Eastern Conference to win the whole thing. But I really had strong feelings about OKC this year, and you know they were right there before the Warriors came back on them, and like Boston came back on us one time before you got there.
Well, you know,
up 3-1 and then it's 3-3 playing on their court.
But you can't.
That's not a good feeling.
But you got your revenge.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, was he a good teammate?
Yeah, what was he like? What was he like as a rookie?
Well,
as a rookie.
Like as a rookie?
Yeah, talk to us.
Was he quiet?
You know what? When Charles first came in, he called me sir. And he said yes, sir, and no, sir. And he showed that he had really good home training. And he did when he was in Alabama for about 6 or 8 months. And then something registered he was like, I really belong here.
Hey, I will tell you this. I talk about, I don't like guys leaving college after 1 year. It drives me crazy. But I can say this because I've always said the biggest problem I have with the NBA today is we got all these young kids, and the oldest guy on the team is like 25. Dr. J, Moses Malone, Maurice Cheek, Andrew Toney, Clement Johnson, Clint Richardson, and Bobby Jones. They were all like surrogate fathers to me. They taught me how to dress. They talked to me about saving my money because, I didn't know back in the day like 80% of professional athletes go broke. I mean, and which is a travesty. They talked to me about saving my money, but Doc talked to me about, hey, listen, son, you can't be wearing warm-ups everywhere. Go get some suits. And I think that's more important. The basketball was going to come being around these guys, but they taught me how to be a man, and that's probably the most important thing that I appreciate from all those guys.
Hey, Charles, he had to be a problem because usually guys have 2 vets. You named about 11 vets.
A bunch of guys.
You're a mess.
Let me tell you something.
You named 11 guys to help you out.
But these guys, man, they were great. I mean, I tell people, man, like now, we always need vets on these teams. These kids are coming in now at 18 years old. In Philadelphia, I always worry. I was watching Okafor from a distance. I was like, he's getting, and I think he's going to be a hell of a player, number one. But I'm saying, like, man, he wouldn't have been getting that trouble if he had Doc and Moses and Maurice and Andrew, Toney, Bobby Jones and Clement and all those guys. They're like, young fella, you don't need to be doing this. I mean, these guys stayed on my case. I've talked about Moses made me lose 50 pounds. Plus, I played in college at 300 pounds. Moses got me down to 250, and the rest is history. But I can never thank these guys enough. Every time I see Doc and those guys, and we lost Moses last summer. Yeah. We lost to Darryl Dawkins also, but
Caldwell Jones too.
Caldwell Jones. But these guys, man, I wish all these young guys could have a guy like Doc and Moses and those guys to have. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. In those first 3 years, we played it. Our last 3 years were his first 3 years, and I think it really did set the stage for you to be the leader that you became.
Oh, first of all, it taught me. He taught me. People say, "What's the best thing Dr. J taught you?" I said, like sometimes when you're having dinner, you have to tell people, "No, I'm not signing autograph." He signed every autograph. That's why I try to sign every autograph today. But he taught me, like when we be having dinner sometime, he says, "Hey, can you wait till I finish dinner?" Like, and I played with guys, and I told guys, I know some guys say, "Hey man, get the hell away from me, I'm eating dinner." and you like sitting at the table, I'm not gonna call those guys names. But he taught me how to say no in a polite way. And I said, that's probably the best thing he taught me. Like, and I was trying to have lunch today. People like, hey, I said, can you wait till I finish?
I promise I won't bother you again, Chuck.
You waited till I put my 3rd hamburger down, man. I appreciate it.
Doc, before we let you go, assessment of the finals so far. 2-1.
One of the things I've been cognizant of is the emotional roller coaster that the teams get on home versus on the road. I don't remember there being such a disparity between home games and road games. I mean, you go on the road, lose by 30, and you come home and win by 30 or whatever. And maybe it has to do with this generation or whatever, and so much of the things that have happened to the players and people in general, have to do with emotion.
Yeah.
The rise to stardom happens very quick. I mean, you're an overnight sensation or whatever. So, you're not going through this process where when I go into another team's building, I'm focused, I'm doing work, and I'm tuning out the crowd. And it works both ways because, if you rely on the crowd just to hype you at home, it's such a letdown when you go on the road. So that's just one of the observations that I made. So Cleveland should win this game because of that, because you can't change that overnight.
It's interesting. Biggest combined margin of victory through 3 games in finals history so far.
There you go. Case in point.
Hoping for a closer one tonight to talk about afterward. Great to see you as always.
Thank you. Likewise.
Oh,
good
the
to hang with these guys.
Julius
Good to hang with these guys.
Oh, man.
Chuck.
That's not Chuck. That's LeBron Smith.
I could have had another 10,000 points if Maurice Cheek could see out of one eye and only get the ball to Doc.